Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the RDA. I hope you are doing well. Liverpool versus Manchester City. The first best versus the second best. The elite versus the elite. Interesting game. Lots to talk about. The last time this fixture happened, of course, Manchester City won 4-0, but I think that was a bit of an anomaly. Liverpool had already won the title. It was unprecedented times. We just came back from lockdown. There is a lot of reasons why Liverpool lost that game, and I'm not making excuses for them. But we all know Manchester City has experience playing without fans. They've had experience playing without fans for 15 years. So obviously they would have had the mental edge over a Liverpool side that didn't really have much to play for since they already won the title. I'm just saying. All banter aside, I think when you look at Manchester City and their fan base, it's not that big compared to teams like Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal, even Chelsea. And they're not that vocal. There's not a lot of real Manchester City fans. They all seem to be very, very shallow. And I know if there's any City fans watching, you're probably going to turn this off at the moment. But honestly, like, you guys do not pressure your team. You don't pressure your club. You guys have spent the most money in the Premier League. You guys have spent more money than some countries spend on solving child poverty. Yet you haven't won a major trophy in over a year. The Carabao Cup is not a major trophy. If the Carabao Cup is a major trophy to you as a City fan, exactly, you're the problem. It's interesting. Guardiola just goes under the radar. And I've always talked highly of Pep Guardiola because you won 2 back-to-back Premier League titles. That's not very difficult to do. I mean, when you have an open checkbook, it's a lot easier. But nevertheless, it's not that easy to do, even with an open checkbook, right? But ever since then, Manchester City, what have you actually done? You got beat by Olympiacos. No, it wasn't Olympiacos. Olympic Lyon, pardon me, in the Champions League last season in the quarterfinal. You got beat by Spurs in the Champions League the previous season. So you're losing to teams that you should be beating in the Champions League semi-finals and finals. And in terms of the Premier League, you're just not as good as Liverpool because apparently you don't have a £100 million centre back who can stay fit. It's madness. But I still do think City can win this game. I still do think this is the first real litmus test for Liverpool. Now that I'm done bantering City, let's talk a bit about Liverpool. What do I think of them? We're a quarter of the way into the season. Well, nearly. After this game and I think a couple of game weeks, we'll be past the quarter way of the season and we'll have a fair bit of results to measure up things. Now, if you don't know at the time of watching this video, Manchester City are currently sitting in 10th. Liverpool are currently sitting in second. Yes, second. Guess who's first? Southampton. And fam, they sent a tweet out this morning say, stop the count, fam. And if you don't know what that's a reference to, you live under a rock. I don't like the USA, but even I've been following the elections because Donald Trump is an idiot, fam. But anyways, back to the football. It's an interesting game between Liverpool and City because Liverpool have not had a real litmus test since Van Dijk has been injured. That's what a lot of people are saying. I've seen them play Ajax, who are a good side. I've seen them destroy Atalanta, who are definitely a good side. They made it as far as Manchester City did with less than 15% of the money in the Champions League last season. So they must be a decent side. Top four in the Serie A, if I'm not mistaken, or they were in the top four towards the end of the season. So Atalanta are a good side. I'm not hearing this. They haven't had a test. Yes, Atalanta are not as good as Manchester City, but Manchester City is sitting in 10th at the moment. And although Manchester City have won 4 of their last games and drew 1, they haven't looked like the same team. They haven't looked quite at the races. And I would argue that the teams that they've played aren't that good either. You beat Marcelo 3-0. Well done. Marcelo's so hard. We could never dream of beating Marcelo. You beat that Greek restaurant, Olympiacos, 3-0. Well done. Ooh, Olympiacos. They knocked Arsenal out of the Europa League. Ooh, so good. Like, you know what I mean, bro? Like, even City fans have to say that you haven't played any really good teams in the last 5. And that doesn't mean you can't win this game. As I've said before in the video, you can. But with Liverpool at the moment, they've got Jota, who just came off a hat-trick, who looks to be in form. Firmino, who hasn't really been in form and hasn't really been at the races for a long, long time for Liverpool now. It'll be interesting to see what Klopp does with those two. Gomez is a really good centre back. I think people are sleeping on Gomez, and a lot of Liverpool fans are saying that this is the opportunity for him to show how good he is. I don't think he's the same centre back without Van Dijk, but he's still a decent centre back. And I think if you guys stick Williams in that team, look, I understand Williams is young. I understand Williams needs to rest. I understand you don't want to burn the kid out, but he played well against Atalanta, and I think he should be in this game because number one, you'll get to see how good he really is. But also number two, do you really want to be playing Joel Matip against the likes of Jesus and Aguero, fam? Nah, I don't know about Matip, Liverpool fans. I don't know about Matip, but moving on from those two, you still got Trent, you've still got Robertson, you've still got Wijnaldum, you've still got Henderson, and I think Jones played well midweek for you guys. I don't know if you start Jones, but I definitely do think you need to start at least two of the young. A lot of people will say Yacht is one of them, so Jones gets kicked out the team anyways, but I don't know who you play. Remember, Liverpool still have Shaqiri off the bench, who can come on and do a fantastic job. So in terms of squad depth, I think people are sleeping on Liverpool. I think some people just don't know how big Liverpool's squad actually is, and how many young, talented players, and how many sort of old players who can do a job like Shaqiri. And when I say old, I don't mean he's old, I mean he's older in comparison to the youngsters. I think people are sleeping on how. As far as score predictions go, fam, this is tough. This is the toughest part of the video because I don't know who's going to win this one. I think I'm going to go Liverpool 2-1. I'm going to go Liverpool 2-1. I think City at the moment are on the ropes. They'll want to win this game, but I just don't know if they can do it convincingly. And if they do, fair play to Manchester City. I'll congratulate them on the show when I react to the match, fam. It is what it is. But I'll still banter them because they have no fans. They have no real fans anyways. The one City fan I know wasn't a City fan before 2015. He literally became a City fan as soon as they got Pep Guardiola and won the league. So it's hilarious. All these Manchester City fans who haven't been around, all these Manchester City fans who know nothing about the club's history. They can't even name you one club legend. They'll tell you David Silva because, he's the closest thing to a club legend in their minds, but they don't even know their club. And I respect Liverpool fans because most of the Liverpool fans I know a Liverpool fan who's well into his 30s, who's been supporting them all his life, even before they won a title. That's a real football fan, fam. You know them right there. It's going to be a very interesting match. It's going to be very interesting to see if Jota starts over Firmino. It will be very interesting if Williams plays. It will be very interesting if Jones plays. Also very interesting to see who City line up with and who they choose to go with, and how their recent form and recent momentum translates against one of the best teams in England at the moment. So big game for Manchester City, big game for Pep Guardiola. He needs to show that he's not a bald-headed fraud and he can win another major trophy, parting ways with Manchester City. And I don't even know if he wants to win the Premier League again, fam. He seems really set in his ways of winning the Champions League, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon because Manchester City just don't make Champions League finals. Spurs have made more finals than you in your whole history. Mental. But anyways, Liverpool, I think they will win this one. I hope I'm not jinxing the Liverpool fans out there. I really do back Liverpool that much, and even though they are mortal enemies or in rival terms, I still think, it's hard not to admire what a good side Liverpool is, So we'll just have to wait and see. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's basically just bending over and taking it in the ass, fam, instead of actually doing something about Liverpool winning their 21st title and catching up to Sir Alex Ferguson's magnificent, well, it's Manchester United's record, but a lot of it is because of Sir Alex Ferguson. Anyways, there was a lot of rambling. It's been your boy Triple M. Interesting game this weekend. Let's see what happens. Peace out.